What's happening?
Do
Has it stopped where you are too?
Yeah.
Shall we hide it and start the show?
Yeah.
Hide it. Okay. So there's the countdown clock that stopped 2 seconds before it should have done. It is Blabbing for Britain, episode 250. If you didn't know it yet, good morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
There we are. We're together again. And for the 250th time, we're live on Facebook. Does it feel any different?
A bit.
Yeah. Well, I think when we set this going 5 years ago, we didn't think that we'd actually be doing it for so long. I mean, we're one of the longest running shows in the history of live video. Yeah, because we did start back on Blab, and
is Blabbing for Britain that old? The actual remember when what was it used to use? Blab.
Yeah, we've been through a few different things, haven't we, Steve?
Smile time and remember Smile Time and whatever. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think of my look with these glasses? Yeah.
You look like Joe 90 with those glasses.
Right, okay. That was very cool. I don't buy dear glasses now. I only buy $1.99 ones now because I lose so many. So
there we have it. Official. We are Blabbing for Britain, episode 250.
250. And hello, my new YouTube viewers, wherever you are. Do you know, I put out a YouTube video the other day, one I had done many years, a beautiful woman, and I ended up in hospital because I got stung. And it's had views already. Yeah.
Good morning, Tish. And Tish has been with us throughout the 5 years. So, wow. Tish, good to see you this morning. And we say hello to Belgium as well. Hello to Chris. Hello and good morning. Congratulations, Stephen, Peter, and John. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah. Right, Peter, do you have somebody?
Come on, somebody's phone.
I've got to hide him, he said. No, yeah. There we are.
You can't leave that damn phone alone.
Well, he's got his customers ringing him.
I'm going to turn the sound off on mine as well so that we don't get interrupted.
Well, the sound is on mine, but it's not going to ring. I know it's not going to ring. So I'm quite safe. Quite safe.
Mine is now on the vibrate.
What I do need to do is to actually share out the show so that more people can actually see it. This is the thing at the moment. Facebook is messing up. Good morning, everybody. If you are with us, this is Blabbing for Britain, episode 250. Want to say hello, please do. This is a very special show. And I'm waiting for a signal from Peter. Peter is with us. And all right, party's starting now. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, everybody who's joining us. We've seen a lot happen over the last 5 years, and who'd have thought would have been where we are today? I mean, it's been the strangest year ever. Yeah, I mean, our lives are virtually on hold, sort of.
Crazy stuff. But, you know, France is going for a national lockdown again till December. So.
The gang's definitely here now. Kelly's joined us. Hello and congrats on 250. Thank you very much, Kelly. And it's always great when everybody joins us. Now, if you've got any questions for us today about anything at all, then please ask your questions and we'll do our best to answer them. We're going to go through the news as usual. We tried to find news which is, we can't find news that's uplifting at the moment, and that's understandable. We're living in the strangest of times, so we're going to take on each topic in turn. If you've got your thoughts on a topic, then please do add them. And we are missing our fourth musketeer. Stephen I don't know whether Stephen will join us or not. Stephen was a large part of the 5 years that we've been going live, and I think he's moved on to pastures new, but we do hope that one day he'll return. He did say he was going on furlough. He didn't say he was disappearing entirely. Correct, John?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, his business has taken off, and Thursdays were in demand for him. So he said he's having a break. I hope he'll be back.
I hope he'll be back too.
We need a balancer for Pete, you know.
And Pete's right.
I'm shouty over here, and the calm and collected Stephen over here.
Yeah.
And us two in between.
That's true. We're being liberals, yeah. Over to Claire, 250. That's amazing. Well done. Thank you very much. Throughout it all, I think we must have averaged 50 shows a year, which shows how little you and I go on holiday, really.
Yeah, I think I've joined the broadcast once from on holiday.
Yeah, from the caravan.
I haven't had holidays for the last 5 years, not 5 years, but 3 to 4 years. I haven't been away at all. So too many events happening, and Celia not being well, there is no point in going on holiday. She can't walk anywhere, so we haven't been. Anyway, all I can see is his forehead now. What is he doing?
He's too close to the camera. He's changed his glasses 3 times, and now
I'm not sure about this new hairstyle either. This coned to the side quiff, you know.
Well, at least he can do it. I can't. You're silent, Peter, at the moment. Oh, wait a minute. No. Sorry. Yes. Okay. You're better now.
Yeah. Well, I went to a Turkish hairdresser, and he says this would suit you, short at the sides and at the back. I'm quite proud of it, actually. I didn't know I'd end up looking like a Klingon. So, yeah, sorry about that interruption, but I'm glad I took the call. Okay.
Yeah. All good.
Oh.
Right, as I say, if you've got any questions for any of us, then please do. Peter, do you have news from Aberdeen?
Yes, I'll try and put that on now. I'm looking
Good.
At the news.
Okay.
I'll have to put those glasses on. I've lost them. I put them on.
What we've been doing in recent weeks is screen showing our local news. And I'm off to find the Gazette and Herald while Peter.
Okay, what I'm going to do is take you to the first one. Share.
Okay.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah, I've got it screen. I got it. I'm going to bring it on screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Now.
I've got an echo. Just a minute. I'm going to put it full screen. And it's over to you, Peter.
Okay. This on the building that you see there is the famous Aberdeen Beach Ballroom. And that's where all the groups, even the Beatles, have played in there. Okay. Quite famous. But that's not the problem. So a few weeks ago, I told you that they'd taken the beach. It's quite wide, right? And they'd separated the lanes, etc., for bikes and traffic, etc. And it caused such a kerfuffle because some of the bikes still rode on the pavement, some of them still rode on the road, and some of them used the new bike lane. So what? And it was part of the £1.76 million or something like that. And guess what? They're looking to take it down.
What?
Yeah, they're looking. Aberdeen beach bike lanes have been removed as council review physical distancing working. And I've said this the other week, nobody physical distances such. So it's been such a waste of money. Cyclists like it, yeah. It's got their own two-way traffic. But this was famous. This road here, right? It was also famous for what we call the this is the Beach Boulevard. And we had the Bully Boys, the Boulevard Boys. And they used to do races along this road. So the council decided to put a road narrow around so they go. But unfortunately, they still raced. And one was tragically killed because it crashed into the barrier. And it was quickly taken down. So that's one story from Aberdeen. been an absolute disaster, and the planning of it and such a waste of money because it just didn't work out right. So what I'd like to do now is I'll stop sharing this tab. So that's the Press and Journal, which is the morning paper.
Okay.
And then what I'd like to do now is try and, well, I'll go to Be.Live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put on screen, Chrome tab. Now, this is quite an interesting story. This is modern technology. Aberdeen student builds drone to help mountain rescue teams. And young lady, an outdoor enthusiast, she's built something where medicines and some equipment can be taken up to the hills, because up in this part of the country we do get a lot of hill walkers, and sometimes they can't, it takes ages to get the kit. They've got it's capable of carrying dressings, defibrillators, painkillers and other supplies to remote locations. So I think it's a good use of modern technology, and it's a bit of a good news story, which is very hard to find up here nowadays. So that's
find anywhere, Peter.
Yeah. So that's my two stories from my part of the country, and well done, the young student. And Aberdeen City Council, you didn't play this one right. End of. Thank you.
It's hard to find councils doing something right. Any news from Solihull, John? Verbal, if you want.
The most exciting thing in our local news is people complaining about people leaving the Land Rover factory driving like maniacs. Apart from that, there's nothing exciting in our local news, apart from everybody complaining about COVID restrictions, but that's the same nationwide. I am saddened by one piece of news to say that today, to see that Bobby Ball has passed away.
Oh dear.
He will have COVID on his death certificate as well. So he will become a statistic.
Right.
Not in our minds, he won't.
So is that the both of them gone now?
Yeah.
So I've met them, you know. Yeah, I met those guys.
76.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a staple part of our Saturday evenings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can remember it well.
Yeah.
Can't remember other things, but I can remember.
When you see their names and they say they're 76, and remember Eddie Little and Large?
Yeah.
He went. This has come to a function, do a bit, and he says, "I'm worried nobody will know me." You know, the people that we used to watch, the kids don't say anything now. You know, it's just totally different. We're getting old. Yeah.
On that note, we'll move on to something different, but rock on, Tommy, is all I can say. Definitely an icon of our lives. Okay, so going on, just before the beginning, let's get sport out of the way. Lewis Hamilton now has 92 Grand Prix wins in Formula One, beating a certain Michael Schumacher. He's on target for, well, a lot more. He's still young as far as racing drivers are concerned. He is a Brit. He is the best there's ever been, and congratulations on doing that. And of course, it is the best of German engineering, so it's a pan-European collaboration that actually made him world champion. So there we are. Got that on screen. Okay. Now, just local news. This will not make the Gazette and Herald, which I'll show you in a moment. Angelica, as you know, is running for Wiltshire County Council. And obviously people now coming up to talk to her and tell her about things that they'd like to be sorted. And there's a lady who came up, she says, when I take my husband out for in his wheelchair, there is a manhole which is raised up from the pavement, and it's very difficult to navigate, and anybody walking along there in the dark at night would actually fall over. So Angelica took a picture of it and sent an email to the council. Nothing happened. She then downloaded the app. If you've got a problem, you can report it on the app, and the local council have got, well, they take note of it. So last week we went out, I took a photograph. There's a tradition, the Lib Dem politicians find a problem and they take a photograph of themselves pointing at it, to say, I found this problem. So I took the pointing at it photograph, and Angelica reported it to the council using the application, and then she got a message yesterday morning that the case was closed, and that didn't say anything else. It just said the case is closed. And we went to inspect, and lo and behold, the pavement has been raised around the manhole cover, and now wheelchair can just go straight across. So community in action, and thank you to the council.
I said this before. My councillor, who lives a few doors away from me, if we have any problems, Sheila reported a drain that was blocked and everything like that. And I'll tell you what, he gets things done, and he's a liberal. Never worked a day in his life, but he's a liberal, and he gets things done. And it's just a pity he wasn't a Tory, you know. That's a joke, by the way. And,
yeah, no, it's okay.
He gets things done, and he gets my vote. But you never thought you'd hear that, but that's local politics.
Well, I mean, the Lib Dems do well in local politics.
Yes.
It's basically because it is about the people.
Yeah.
You know, and listening to people. So, yeah, I'm enjoying being part of the campaign. It's okay, apart from when you've got to deliver the leaflets in the rain. Yeah. But we've only 2,000 leaflets to deliver. Okay, on with the agenda.
Politics. Did you know this? Do you know Lisa Dodds that comes on for Labour?
Yeah.
Lisa Dodds. Do you know where she's from?
I'm going to say Scotland.
She's from Aberdeen.
Ah.
Yeah. Went to Robert Gordon's College, which is quite famous up here, you know. And yeah, just a shame she's a Labour. And Field.
Over to Chris. Twitter is a very good tool to get things done here in Belgium. Oh, okay.
Most uses Uber. Uber come right back, same message. Oh, please send an account, we'll get it sorted out. And the famous one with Piers Morgan getting a cold McDonald's, that was a problem. That was all over the place.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching us today, and we'll go on with the agenda. And okay, I'm trying to let's get one. Okay, I'll be hosting my Christmas over Zoom. I think many people will, won't they? It's going to be a Zoom Christmas. Do you think, gentlemen?
I don't think Santa will be visiting me.
Well, one thing's for sure, Amazon will deliver most of the gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts. Yeah.
No, I don't know. Did I ever tell you about my best, well, no, one of my most memorable Christmases? Did I tell you?
Carry on, Peter, carry on.
You know, anyway. So I was a young soldier in Berlin, and guess who was picked to do guard duty on Christmas Day?
I know this one.
You know this one?
Yeah.
I know this one too.
I'm trying to find this person. Jed McInerney is his name. So anyway, he was the guard commander. And so I was sitting there with army sandwiches. That was for Christmas dinner. And then a car came along. It was Jed's wife. And she'd cooked us, everybody, a Christmas dinner for the guardroom, and never forgot it. And I've been trying to find them since, because if I find them, Jen McInerney, ex-Reenie, I'd love to buy them a meal. So if anybody's watching and knows them, give me a shout. That's it. Story over.
That's it. That's the end of the story. Just a minute.
Yeah, that's it. It's just
you have to talk for a minute or two, because I mean,
no. So
okay.
it was just an act of kindness that I'll never forget. That, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
There was something about it, And what happened to the Germans? The Germans actually took a soldier each to come to their house for Christmas Day. The local Germans, that happened too. And it was tradition that in the morning, the sergeant major and the officers come around and give you a morning drink in your bed. Did you know about that?
No. Well, I've not served, so.
All the officer and the sergeant major would come around the rooms to give her, and I think it was actually to make sure everybody was safe. Nobody was allowed, if they weren't on guard, to be in the barracks themselves, because people would get depression and things at that time. So they made sure that married people had taken somebody, or Germans took them to their house for Christmas Day. So that's what you got. I think it was called gunfire or something like that. And that's what you got in the British Army on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, because what I was doing then was to actually prepare something. I'm going to hide this. So that's gone, and this is coming in. And what we're going to do for a minute or two is we're going to go over to Wiltshire and to our local paper, the Gazette and Herald, and the top story there is about the gentleman we're just talking about, Bobby Ball, and he was part of our history. And let's go for one of the stories. More and more people are actually taking to two wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in Swindon, which is about 15 miles away from here, people are actually taking to two wheels. Motorcycles and cycles seem to be doing well at the moment.
I know the e-bikes are doing well up here.
Yeah.
Because we're a bit hilly.
Well, people don't want to use public transport, do they?
No. I wouldn't go on a bus just now. And I've got a free pass, I'll tell you.
Okay. Right. And just scrolling down local paper, and a robotic dairy. All right. I looked at Hootsuite the other day, hence the Hootsuite advert.
All right.
These adverts follow you everywhere. Okay, so there's nothing earth-shattering happening at the moment. All right, okay, now story of the week. Let's go for this one. This is a national story, in that the government have messed it up again, John. Okay. Basically, the situation is, I'm going to bring a headline in with this one, because I want to talk about both at the same time. So this is a national scandal, really. And one of our 22-year-old footballers is doing something about it, and people are following his lead, aren't they, Peter?
Are they?
Oh, right. Okay. I'll tell you the story then. I have a story to tell. When children are at school, there are 1.4 million children in England get free school meals. Yeah. when they're not at school, there isn't a direct replacement. So when they're not at school, they're not guaranteed to get a hot meal a day.
Yeah.
And the government, given the current circumstances, could have extended the free meals scheme to cover periods when, if we're going to lock down for 2 weeks, periods when we're on lockdown, so that the 1.4 million children will actually get a meal, one meal a day at least. And the government haven't done anything about it. They've said it's all in the money we've already given out. It's taken care of, but it's not. So what you have is a coming together of organisations throughout the UK to actually offer school meals. McDonald's had offered 1 million meals, and there are lots of corporate people providing, but also, as we can see from this, local people providing school meal support in Marlborough, Devizes and Chippenham, which is the general area where I live. I think he's doing a good service for young people, because he's only 22 himself, and he's actually getting results because the government are having to listen. I like saying this, Peter, my apologies, but Conservative MPs are revolting against the government and saying that, pull your finger out, let's do something. It's not, in terms of what we've been spending in the last 6 months, it's a drop in the ocean. There is no logical reason for doing it. But the Education Secretary, the Chancellor and Prime Minister are all, for whatever reason, fighting against it. And we've got comments coming in. So I'm going to take the paper off the screen and the comment off the screen. Okay, so we should be back to the three of us in a second. Yes, we are. Good. That took a second or two. But he, led by Marcus Rashford, there are a lot of people getting involved. And over to Claire. And Claire is saying, hopefully spending Christmas in my social bubble with my mum. Yep. Family at Christmas, hope so. That's and over to Tish. And Tish is saying, see you guys in the week, gotta lay down. Okay, Tish, take care, and we'll see you again next week.
Right. I can actually make a comment on this.
Yeah, okay.
When I was a young man, even before I was 12, a kid, I didn't get free school meals, but my cousins did, because her mum was a widow that died early, and I used to be with them all the time. and during the summer holidays in Aberdeen, the kids actually went for a meal on the holidays. Went and got a meal.
Yeah.
Now, I used to sneak in with them for a meal. And I'll never forget one day, the janitor looked at me and he said, "Who are you?" Because he knew the kids. I said, "I'm Peter." "All right, what are you doing here?" So I'm in for a meal. "You're not at this school." I says, "I know, but I'm with my cousins. I always." And he says, "On you go." He knew everybody, and I was terrified. So all that long ago, we did get school meals. And I'll tell you another thing I remember about school meals. In my own school, I had to pay for the meals. I remember that. Although there wasn't a lot of money, but I paid my meals. Sometimes I ate Mars bars instead, and the teacher found out and says, "Why didn't you go for a school meal?" Anyway, I ate sweets. But I remember when it come to second help, remember Oliver, second helpings. I remember now looking back, the poorer kids, the teacher would look and you could see it like that. They were waiting to be picked, and she always picked them. So he said, "Why did he always get picked?" Looking back now, the teacher knew who was poor, who needed a good feed. But we weren't happy about it. So occasionally we would get a second meal. So it's been going on for years. But I'll tell you, a lot of people, I've seen this a lot of people are saying, hey, wait a minute, what's family allowance for? Isn't that to feed the kids? You get your family allowance. And some people have actually said, if you can't feed your kids, you can't afford an iPhone. You can't smoke. You can't feed your kids, we take it off you.
Talking about the parents' lifestyle, fine, and it's basically they're making the wrong choices. The kids have no say in it, and they're the ones that Marcus Rashford and everybody who's getting organised is trying to protect, not the parents, not to get the parents' lifestyle, but to actually make sure the kids eat.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was my rant, Peter. It's very rare, but
I'd just like to say one thing.
Yeah.
My Conservative Member of Parliament is revolting, not in the sense that you use the word revolting.
I was going for the double meaning there, but over to Nick. Hi guys, can't watch all of the show, but wanted to say congratulations on 250 shows. Thank you, Nick. And over to Roland and Warminster Football Club. They're saying good morning, guys.
Morning.
And good morning, Roland. Welcome to modern Britain. Well, yeah. And over to Nick. And thank you for all the comments. Congrats to Marcus Rashford. And I agree with that. It's not, that's it. That sums it up.
Yeah.
Mick is saying this is not the fault of the children. They're the ones who need the help.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is the fault of the parents.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not denying it. I'm not denying it. But from a point of view, a humanitarian point of view, it's actually getting food in the kids' mouths that counts. And the government has spent so much and wasted so much in the last 6 months that the cost of this, which I think it was about £120 million, is a drop in the ocean. And it would help 1.4 million children. And
so how much would you pay more in taxes to get all the money back to the government then? What do you think should be the tax?
The government is spending money that they haven't got, never mind taxes.
Yeah.
We spent more this year than we've ever done. We're spending money for future generations at the moment.
Yeah. But who holds it? Somebody's going to turn around to the government and say, you ain't getting any more money. Yeah. Who stops it?
Sovereign debt is the most secure debt in the world, because unless the country disappears, you are at some point in the future going to get repaid. And if you want to sell that debt on, then you can actually trade in government debt. So I don't know. Somebody's lending it, Peter.
I know.
John, do you know?
Who's giving the money?
Who knows where it's coming from?
You think it's a Rothschilds?
Perhaps our Chancellor's dipping into his own pocket.
Aye, he's loaded. Right, today.
But I find it disappointing that he's criticised for being loaded when many other of our Chancellors have also been loaded.
I mean,
why is he being picked on?
Yes.
He has done a brilliant job. I don't care whether anybody says it's not enough at the moment. He has magic things out of nowhere.
You know, I don't know about you, but every time I go shopping now, just going back to food, I don't know if you do it, but every time I say, right, I must buy something to put into they've got containers, you put something in. I'm tending to do that. No, just one item when I'm in, to people. Do you do that?
Not every time. I quite often actually will buy a couple of things and give them to one of the gentlemen or ladies who are outside asking for help.
All right, okay.
It's a common sight, and I live in one of the, I won't call it poshest, but one of the most expensive areas to live in.
Yes, I was reading up that. John's posh.
No,
we always knew it. I mean, he denies it, but
I was brought up in a council house, mate. I'm not.
I declare.
Beat Stephen, wasn't? Was you Stephen?
Yeah, I lived in a 2 up, 2 down.
Wow, we're our council house tenants.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. That
amazing. The council house was what made my dad's more comfortable at the end, towards the end of the life, because he paid £8,500 for his house, and he was able to use monies from the house, which eventually sold for over 200,000. So.
I've got to say, many conversations I've had with conservatives, and I always say, you bought your own property, didn't you? It was council. Maggie Thatcher done that. And this is even Nicola Sturgeon's mother bought in her house. I says, so sell it and give the money to charity when it goes. Don't you take that money, give it to charity. Strange conversation. What do you think?
Too late, I've spent it.
It is much too late. Many people have actually benefited from what was done then, and it's enriched everybody's lives. And okay, Mrs. Thatcher did do it.
Maggie Thatcher would have handled this just now.
What, the pandemic?
Yeah.
I think she would have been. She would have had a plan. She would have listened to medical advice, and she wouldn't have been afraid to actually put a lockdown in place if it was needed.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, John, do you think Maggie would have made a good?
Well, it's a long time since she was around, but I was always a fan of Maggie. She certainly improved my life.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard that is to say up in my area?
I don't think it's particularly easy to say anywhere.
This woman for Scotland or something that says, Papa, they're at me, and I says, she says, who do you say? I says, Margaret Thatcher. And you could see their faces. And they started, and I says, in council houses, people, and every time I said something, they were walking back. I says, don't go away. You can't handle the truth, can you? Maggie Thatcher, that's who was needed. And I said, I've never seen them run so fast. Right, but we're getting on to serious stuff then.
Okay, and just take a few comments, then we'll move on. Nick Wood saying, bailed out banks but can't feed kids. It's shocking. So we're of the same mind and won't feed kids. And to Claire, and Claire is saying, I buy food bank item each time I shop. Occasional dog and none of the food items too.
Yeah, food banks have benefited very much from football of the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. Because the supporters have been paying the pay-per-view fee into a charity collection as opposed to actually watching the football match because they think it's a rip-off.
Right, okay.
Backstory to this is that Sky decided not to show every football match as part of the Sky packages. So if you bought the sports package, you weren't going to see all the matches. The only way to see the extra matches was to pay £15 per match.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is extortionate, John, yeah?
Well, I don't really watch it. I don't mind watching the EFL, which is free, but I wouldn't want to pay £15 to watch a match, especially if I was still paying for my season ticket, which loads of them are.
Yeah. Okay.
So fans organised that they would go to a charity instead of paying to a charity fund instead of watching the match, but still spending the money. And in Liverpool, they raised about £150,000.
Brilliant initiative.
Which went to a. Apparently, though, the relationship was already there because they hold collections at every match.
Right.
For the food bank. And they collect food and money at every match.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Keep them coming. So we've done hosting Christmas Zoom. We've done Marcus Rashford. Okay. Now this... What do you think of this? We're going to do one from Scotland, one from England, to be fair to everybody. COVID in Scotland, students may not be allowed home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been spoken about. But guess what, Nicola? They're going to do it anyway. They're going to leave and go, you know? You know, Scotland's funny just now. People are... I just feel for civil disobedience shortly on the streets. I really do. you know. And I don't know the answer. Don't know the answer, but how it's only going to stay? How are they going to keep him in? They're going to have guards pushing him back.
Going to have to rebuild Adrian's Wall,
Yeah,
to separate England from Scotland.
yeah.
I mean, it's human nature. You can't go against human nature. But Roland is saying, how can Sky charge people who've already paid? Well, that's a good question to which we don't have the answer.
Going back to Scotland, look, France and Germany shut down for 5 weeks, is it?
Yep, till December.
Are they allowing people into the country?
Can't answer that one.
Okay.
They only announced it last night, so I'm sure there are details yet to appear.
Sorry, Peter, say it again.
Are they allowing people out of the country? It's, if you're having a lockdown, it just takes one person to come in, doesn't do what they're told, goes to a bar or something like that, and spreads it. One person. That's all it needs. So it's just crazy. Scotland-England border. Nicola Sturgeon was shut down. By the way, English comes over, are they going to say, you're not getting in? What's going on?
There was an element of that with Wales not being allowed in.
Yeah.
Depending on what county you lived in.
Well, we were due to go on holiday a week tomorrow.
Right.
To Wales.
To
the
Wales.
Brecon Beacons for 5 days. Not going to happen.
And do you know something? People have already said, if that's the case, we won't come back to Wales in England. People have said that, you know.
People can be angry for a short period of time, but Wales is so beautiful, you go back just for that. I mean, that's why people go there, not because of the beliefs of the Welsh people.
Can I something not nice, but it's got to be spoken about. People have died in the English Channel this week. It said it was going to happen. It's happened. Young kid as well, missing still.
Oh, yeah.
When is this going to stop? How come stop it?
Hang on. Whoa here. This happened in French territorial waters. So is it France's responsibility or ours?
It should be, because they're letting them out, no problem. And the boats are, our RNLI, our customs are picking them up and taking them through after being escorted by the French. That people, I was listening to, that people that died were told, don't go by their relatives here. Don't go. £26,000 they paid for their own death. How can we stop this? It's ridiculous. Answers? Gents?
Well, maybe you have to build a wall like the gentleman over the other side of the pond thinks is the answer.
Certainly worked, isn't it?
It would be a very long wall. I don't think you can control it. The fact is that people want to come to the UK. And whatever you do to stop them, they're going to find a way around it, Peter.
Well, what they should do is say to them, you want to come to the UK, right, see this country you've come into first. Register here, and then we'll talk to you about coming to the UK later.
But that's exactly what happens.
That's the system.
Those who play the system correctly.
Yes.
Yes. And do it that way instead of endangering your life and giving the smugglers money. And I'm really disappointed. That young lad had a truck full of people, Vietnamese, remember that, died.
Yeah, the court case is on at the moment, Peter.
I don't know what he's going to get for it, but I mean, they were writing on the walls and they were screaming for him to open up, you know. And it's just sad that it's happening. Why is it happening? Why?
Because nobody has a solution. There isn't a solution which isn't unfair to. You can have solutions which are fair in general terms, but people are still going to suffer, whichever way you actually do it.
The reason they're coming over in boats now is because all the other routes, the people that died this week actually were stopped in it, I believe, in a train about 10 times. They were trying to get through in the train and they were stopped.
Yeah.
So all other routes have been stopped, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you know something, I met a Syrian in Aberdeen one day. He followed me on my bike and he stopped me to speak to him, and they got chatting. He was a refugee. Nice man. I said, so what did you do in your uncle? He says, I was a journalist. He said, I had to flee. And he must be older than me and he's still fleeing about. Do you know what he's doing? On his bike, and he's delivering with Deliveroo, you know? And he stops and speaks to me. Do you know what? And his daughter got a local school. So good on him. But I think he came here legally. Okay, that's it's not a rant. It's just saying, what can we do?
Yeah, and just going back to talking about Claire is saying Brighton hotspot is Farmer, where the university is. All uni students going home for Christmas are likely to spread the virus. Over to Chris, and Chris is saying we may have social grocers where people in need can choose what they want to buy at very low prices. That's selling overstocks and damaged packaging. So
Yeah.
different approach in Belgium.
Okay.
Claire's saying provide a safer route. Right, this is back to your question, Peter. Provide a safer route for refugees and asylum seekers to actually get here.
An official route, and sit them down and do it officially, because the percentage of people that are alive here illegally, high percentage, and don't go back. You know.
But if we, okay, let's just follow this through for a moment.
Proposing something that's already in existence.
Because the camp is actually on the French side, John.
Sorry, yeah, that we have people on the French side, able to deal with potential immigrants.
Yes. Yeah.
So the fact is that what is persuading people to illegally cross is the fact that it takes time.
Yes.
Yeah.
A big queue.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put the, I mean, we've got detention centres throughout the UK for people who got here who shouldn't have done. So we've already got the places where we're actually keeping people. We've got the same situation. We pay for a part of France to actually look after people.
Why have we to pay that?
Because it's our problem, or seen as a joint problem, Peter. So you can't say we're going to sort it out and not spend a penny. You can't do it for no money. There's got to be money coming from the UK if the problem is to be resolved.
I even heard there was a French policeman said to some of them, "It's a good time to go on your boat now. The weather's good."
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, okay.
The same policeman said, "Oh, it's all right to do 100 miles an hour on the motorway." There are so many stupid stories.
They don't want another jungle. They don't want another jungle in their place. Better giving them to Britain. But I don't think the French are playing their part. I really don't.
Well, whatever it is, they're going into lockdown for 6 weeks.
So
there certainly won't be any legal travelling back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our government made a decision not to invest in Huawei technology, the result of which is Samsung have seen a sales. Yeah, mine's a Samsung too. Samsung have seen a surge of sales.
Right.
Samsung, and obviously,
you are not
but the phones aren't on the government naughty list. It's the 5G kit that's on the government naughty list.
So it is, and that's why I'm going to try and go with my next story.
Just before you go, have you ever dropped your Samsung in the loo?
Only twice, Peter.
Well, I done it last night, and when I done the toilet, I looked down and said, "What's that blue? What's that blue?" I think for the details. It was
mine is in a really fancy waterproof, shockproof case.
Yeah, when I was charging the cable, I was watering it so to heat it over a fire. Very embarrassing. Yeah.
I don't think they put it in their advertising, Peter, but I'm sure that Samsung and the like have made their mobile phones loo-proof.
Right.
So that if you do if you're providing you quick enough, yeah.
So
it falls
you
in
know
the
what?
loo, and then
You'll know why.
yeah.
Move on quick.
I say good morning to Corinda. Hello, Corinda. And Corinda's second comment is
He's just woke up.
he's in hospital, Peter.
Is he?
Yeah.
No. Get well soon, Corinda.
Indeed, we all hope that you do get well soon. I hope that everything in hospital goes well. Just work up. Okay. In real terms, Corinda, not much. In our terms, 50 minutes of the most amazing live video you've ever seen. So watch the replay. Yeah. Okay. So Samsung are doing well, and one of the major telecoms companies has decided not to use Huawei technology, but to go with, and if I can find it, they're going with. Right. Okay.
Well, they haven't chosen. They've been told that they can't go with Huawei.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going 50% Ericsson and 50% Nokia.
It's Ericsson. The name I couldn't remember. Ericsson.
Yeah, Ericsson are not in the phone industry as in these, but they are in the what's called the core.
Right. Yeah.
The stuff that makes it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And I'm enjoying a hands-free experience.
BT, by the way.
I'll tell you what works for me. I actually use Google a lot to speak to get things up, apps and things. And do you know what I just found out the other day? I found out how to sync my van radio with this. Absolutely wonderful, because they all went digital and they're going, and once I load it, it's beautiful. It means I don't have to listen to James O'Brien anymore, if you've ever heard of him.
What you mean is you've managed to join your phone and your Bluetooth together for things other than just...
Do you know something today? I use it as a map. I get my emails in it. It's a workhorse. It really is a workhorse. And
I used to have emails on my phone. I took it off because I couldn't stand the amount that come through. Beep, beep, beep.
I need it.
Can I make a money-saving tip?
Yes.
Do you drink water?
Yes. Not a lot.
I'm rather fond of San Pellegrino, which I buy from Tesco's, Italian fizzy water.
Right.
It's $1.35 for a litre. Not anymore. We now have San Celestino from Lidl. And I tell you what, it's only 37 pence a litre, and I can't tell the difference.
Here, but
saving tip of the day: save 98 pence a litre and buy San Celestino from Lidl.
I'm going to do that. Did I tell you I won a £50 voucher for Tesco?
No, just did. But...
Yes, I won a 50 quid. So Sheila's already spent it for me on the groceries. The I put three things I've won in my life. One, made to measure suit. Two, an industry award at a competition for a photograph. And three, the Tesco voucher. I've just got that feeling I'm going to be hit by lightning one day. I'll be lucky.
John, where'd you buy the water?
Rubber soled shoes on. It's in the van, so it acts as a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
John, where can we buy the best fizzy water in the world?
This is from Lidl.
Good. Yeah. I don't like in big bottles. I like little. Do they sell little bottles, John?
I don't know. I only buy them by the litre or the 2 litre.
Stephen, was you listening to me singing the other day?
I did catch you, yes.
What to carry on, try to get. I think I looked at the iPad and I think the song that the back was down. I was crying. I'm just so frustrated with it, you know. And I was in a bad mood after that because it wouldn't work. The singing really tires me out, and I can get a good sleep after it. So,
just what part does...
I was a bit of a singer. My family were all singing. We were a sewing machine.
Okay. And Kelly's given us a radio station to listen to. Thank you, Kelly. All good. Right, I'll just see if there's anything left on the agenda. I think we've covered most of it today. Okay. Now we've contract tracing. British apps plan to share data. So whichever, the Scots app will be talking to the English app, will be talking to the Welsh app, which will be talking to the Irish app. And they're going to combine the data. Now, from a big data point of view, this makes sense because they can actually analyze exactly what's going in throughout the whole of Great Britain and the United Kingdom.
I hope they'll all be very happy. Oh, okay.
I'm just glad that they're talking to each other because, you know.
Yeah, I just think it should have been one app for the United Kingdom.
Well, we think it should be one set of rules for the United Kingdom, don't we? Yeah? This is...
Let me tell you, I'm sick of it.
You're always moaning, Pete. Are you ever happy?
Yeah.
We've got the situation where we've always said that France and Germany are 2 weeks ahead of where we are, and they're going to national lockdown with a national set of rules, despite state governments, despite governments in department in France. The whole country is being treated as one and doing exactly the same thing. So, yeah, I mean, the economy is going to crash, whichever way this is done. We're going to take a hit. People are going to lose the jobs. People are going to lose the businesses. Let's just get it. All we're doing is delaying things. Let's just have the 2-week lockdown, get the number of infections down, get the number of people in hospital down, get the number of people infected down. That's my rant.
How's the thing? How are they taking it in France? Are they a Egypt? Or is there people in the streets, do you know?
I think it's too early to know, really, isn't it? I mean, they only announced it last night.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to react.
I know that in Victoria, Australia, there's big problems. Oh, they are really...
That seems to have eased off now, though, Peter.
Is that? But it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, but by locking everybody in, it's getting better. Yeah.
Is it?
But then I've got friends who say the whole thing is a hoax.
How's the thing? How's your daughter now? How's she feeling?
She had no symptoms whatsoever. Do you know the most annoying thing? Track and trace. 3 times a day, track and trace would ring her. And in the end, she stopped taking the calls.
Yeah.
I kept ringing her and saying, Dorothy has been in contact with someone. I said, yes, this is the 11th time you've told me that. And this will be the 11th time I will tell you that it was me. Now, could you just put it down on your computer and stop ringing me and telling me the same thing?
Yeah. Hey, the police will be at our door saying, have you been out? Because that's going to be happening as well.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore now, Peter, because she's finished her anyway. Because when you're NHS staff, it's 10 days from the date of the swab, the sample. Yeah.
You know,
her husband's still locked down.
We're in a pandemic, and
his lockdown finishes at midnight tonight.
Yeah. We'll look back on this and And we'll say, okay, maybe we should have done that. Maybe, but we don't know, folks. It's a new experience. It's like when they eventually go to Mars, they don't know what's waiting for them. They don't know what's going to be. The atmosphere. You just don't know until you get there.
Alice is back on the ward on Sunday, but she's been speaking to they've had another 2 people, I understand, who tested positive. But of the 28 now, no one has had any real symptoms. One older lady, staff member, has had some headaches.
Right.
But that could be anything.
And here's the thing, Britain. When are we getting what what do you call it?
Vaccine?
What do you call it?
Oh, antibody test.
Yes.
Yeah, but the latest thing is that the antibodies now fall off within a fortnight and you can catch it again. So
I want to know if I've had it.
There's no way of telling, Peter, because you lose the antibodies, as John said, within 4 weeks they're gone. So
Recently.
Yeah. Right now, we are in a situation in the UK where we know what's going on, but our hospitals are coping, our schools are open. In Belgium, they have a shortage of medical staff, they have a shortage of teaching staff, and therefore medics and teachers have been told to work even if they have been diagnosed with COVID.
Yeah, really.
So they're going to work.
Shocking.
And the potential for spread of the disease is greater. Belgium is suffering, as Chris says, and I mean, our thoughts go out to everybody. And over to Corinda. Corinda mentioned that everything's going on Zoom next year. Everything's been on Zoom this year, Corinda. And so many people in the hospital are coughing. Yeah. Okay.
But that doesn't have to indicate COVID at all. This is the time of year that many people get coughs for normal, everyday reasons.
Right.
I had my flu jab and my pneumonia jab on Saturday.
Right.
Didn't hurt at all. Until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I had them at 11, and at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Mom was like on fire.
Did you get at your local surgery, John?
Sorry?
Did you get that at your local surgery, your doctor?
No. My surgery is part of a group called GPS Associates.
Yeah.
And what they've done is they've split the different surgeries up into different tasks. So I have to go to the Knoll surgery, which is doing flu and pneumonia jabs. Yeah. Then if I want to see my GP, I can't go to my own at the moment because that's got a different task.
Yeah.
So I would have to go to Shirley to see a GP.
So what's happened with us?
I haven't been to a doctor's for 10
I'm entitled to the flu jab, which I don't usually take, to be honest with you. And this year, the health board has taken it back from a doctor's practice. They've taken it from them, and they're doing it. Sheila got hers in. It was a day late. The appointment already passed. It's been a disaster.
Talking of disasters, I got a letter last Tuesday from NHS England, and it said, your doctor is no longer your doctor. You need to go and find a new one by the 8th of November. You'll be taken off the register of your doctor's practice on that date, and everybody needs a doctor. Go and get one.
Wow.
So it was letter. I can show it you now, but it just said
why is he retiring?
No, this is a practice with 8 doctors. It's an ongoing practice. I've been there 8 years since I ever moved to Devices. First thing I did was register. I've been there probably 4 times in the last 8 years. I thought, well, obviously I don't actually earn them enough because I'm fortunate and well.
Well, you see, I went to the doctors, and we're going back nearly 20 years now, and I'm studying reception, and the practice manager is saying, you don't live local anymore. You need to find a local practice. And it just happens that John Robson, who was like the director of the practice, came into reception, and he said, "What did you say?" And she said, "Oh, he doesn't live local anymore." I said, "I've known him since he was little." He said, "How long have you been with us?" I said, "I was 1 when I joined the practice, and I'm still with the same practice today now at 6, heading for 65. And he said, "How many times have you been here?" I said, "Well, I'm only in here because I've come about Mum." I said, "I haven't come about me, I've come about Mum." And he said, "And you're telling him he's got to find somewhere else?" I said, "And when did you last come in?" He said, "Oh, hang on, pass me the records." He said, "But you haven't been here for 9.5 years. And he turned to her and he said, "That's the best patient for me that you can find. Why are you sending him away?" And she said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "I get paid whether he comes in or not. So
That's
if he
right.
doesn't come in, I'm making a really good profit on him."
I must tell you about when I went to London. I was living in a porter cabin for a year, and because I'm diabetic, and there was a doctor's surgery just down the bottom. I says, "That'll do me." And I went into reception. It was a Jamaican lady. She says, "Hello." I says, "I'd like to register here." She says, "No, I'm sorry, we're full up." And I said, "Please, just stay at the end of the road, Waxlow Road, beside McVitie's factory. I would be obliged if you would take me on." And she looked at me and she says, "Okay." So she handed me the forms. This is a true story. She handed me the forms and she goes, "Can you write in English?" I says, "Yes, I can." And I'd done that. And she said to me, "When did you come to this country?" This is a bit of a method.
To me, this has been the essence of Blabbing for Britain for 250 episodes. We're now well into heading towards the 70th minute of a 1-hour show. It's been our pleasure over the last 5 years to actually be able to reach out and chat with you. We will obviously be going on for long after this, but thank you to everybody who joined us on this special celebration 250th show. And as is tradition now, I'm going to hand you over to John. Pussy, you might close the show, you might just carry on, but let's see what happens.
I'm going to answer a question from my friend in Canada. The answer is it is not mandatory to be on Track on Trace in the UK. So no, if you don't own a smartphone, you don't get microchipped. We only do that to cats and dogs. Anyway, so it's goodbye from all of us. I'm going to say goodbye from my friend in Stoke first, because I know he's not with us today, but he has played a large part in Blabbing for Britain over the years, and we wish him luck with his business. I'm going to say goodbye to our friend in Scotland, who does not have the sea or the sky out his back windows, because I don't believe that when he's in his office, which is a concrete garage, there are even any windows. And then goodbye from my friend in Wiltshire, who seems to have the sky behind him today instead of Stonehenge. And no, I've never been on a balloon flight, and I don't even know what country it's in, but it works well at hiding the chair back. So it's goodbye from me, it's goodbye from him, it's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from him who's not with us today. Bye.
Bye.